Hi everyone, it's Elda, and I'm really excited about this live that I'm doing today. I know when I posted that I was interviewing Holly Roush, the tagline may have been a little confusing for some people, and I'll explain why. I'm just going to wait a few minutes for some people to join. Hey Holly. Okay, I see that she's on. Hey Kristen. Hi David. Okay, let me go ahead and get started. Let me add her. Let me see. I see she's there. Bring him on camera. Hey, Nicole. Hi, Stephen. Hi, Lisa. Okay, I'm adding Holly right now. So, just going to wait for her to jump on and wait for a few people. Let me see. Okay, it says Holly wants to be added. Okay, I guess that didn't work. Hey, Freddie. Oh my God, I have people I haven't seen in a while here. Okay, let me add on Holly. Hey, Katie. Hey, Jonathan. Hi, guys. Thanks so much for joining. Okay, approve. I'm so excited. Hey, Alex.
Hi.
Hi, Holly.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Very good.
I know we're both adjusting our light, right?
Yeah, light and turning it up so I can hear you.
Well, I just want you to know I am so excited and so honored that you would join me today on this live. And I want everyone to know when I did the little intro on my Facebook to announce that I was going to be interviewing today, it may have been a little confusing to some people because you know, I wrote pharmaceutical rep to stay-at-home mom to multi-millionaire. Now, I am totally referring to Holly here, but 2 out of 3 of those apply to me. So I've been a pharmaceutical rep. I know Holly knows that. We both have a pharmaceutical sales background. And then I was a stay-at-home mom for a few years. And anyway, but the multi-millionaire part, I'm totally referring to Holly. And I'm just so honored and excited to have her here. And so I'm going to go ahead and just jump right in. Holly, is there something you need to take care of?
Nope, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. So, hey,
Corbin just, you know, I'm super quiet when he's doing his, and he's like all over the kitchen while I'm doing mine. So
that's okay. No,
yeah,
that's okay.
that's how he rolls.
No, okay. Anyway, I just want to thank everybody for joining. Hey, Sarah. Holly, if I could just say hi to it. Hey, Elda. Hey, Erica. She said, Elda, you're so sweet, Erica. I love you guys. Hey, Melissa. Hey, Norma. Okay, so anyway, so you guys, I just want you to know that Holly Roush is somebody that I have been watching for the last 4 or 5 months, and it's just been so impressive to me and so inspiring to watch her. And I want her to share her story because it's really a beautiful story. I want her to share her story about how she got started in network marketing. So Holly, if you could introduce yourself. Well, actually, let me just say one thing. So you guys, I've been with this company for 4 months, about 4.5 months, and Holly Roush is our master brand partner. So for those of you that are in network marketing, you may know what that is, but her and her husband, Corbin, they are the true rock stars of this company. They are the leaders that lead with a servant's heart. Holly is not only the beauty, is Corbin listening to this? She's not only the beauty in this power couple, she's the brains too. I'll let her share the story. But anyway, so that's why I wanted to talk to Holly, because she has a beautiful story of how she got into this business many, many years ago. And so I'll let her share, you know, how she got it started and her background and just a little bit about herself first.
Awesome. Elda, thank you so much. And thanks for having me on here. And I, like you, I've been watching you as well and seeing what you're doing over there in San Antonio, Texas. And I know one of the only groups that I'm aware of in that area is you and your team. So you have a huge opportunity there. And I also want to share what I love about Elda is she's all in. You know, when I look at the different events that are happening, her name is one of the first ones that signed up. We have a Tulsa regional. We'll talk about that later coming up, but she understands the value of events and getting around the leadership and locking arms with those who have been there before. So she was one of the first to get her name in there. And then we have a women's event in Tulsa. Again, she's on the list there. And I know she's going to several others. And that's really the key to this. So when you said you're 2 out of the 3, you're going to be 3 out of the 3 because you are doing all the right steps. You know, I started in this industry 12 years ago. You know, I was a stay-at-home mom, but prior to that, I was pharmaceutical sales, and I loved it. I have 3 young boys, 3, 6, and 9 when I got started in this industry. But I retired from that industry after my second was born. I just had decided that at that point I wanted to stay home with the kids, which honestly to me is more of a challenge than working pharmaceutical sales. Pharmaceutical was fun. It was easy. Staying home when you're so used to being out there and in the midst of people, and kind of, you can see your sales and you can kind of judge where you're going. In the stay-at-home mom job, that's so much different. You know, you're just, it's kind of that, you're out there, this warrior, and you don't really get a lot of feedback from it. So that's a challenging job for all these stay-at-home moms out there. And I had been home for a couple of years, and I had heard about this industry. Of course, I'd heard of the industry, network marketing, before, but from what I knew about it, it was something I didn't think I'd want to do, which is so silly. It's because I really didn't understand the industry, because no one really ever approached me in the right way about it. So I went to parties, I supported friends, I bought product, I had a closet full of stuff, and that's what people got for their birthdays and Christmas. But for this, when I was introduced to this, you know, no one ever really shared with me the opportunity side either. They kind of just shared a catalog of products, but not really how to make money. But with this business, someone introduced to me how you not only can share product, but you can make money. And at the time, I didn't know I was open. And that's why you never want to prejudge your list, because I didn't know I was looking. And I was pretty content. Corbin had a great job. We made great money. Our kids went to private school, nice cars, nice house. But something was missing. And when this was introduced to me, that I could do something from home on my own time with who I wanted, when I wanted, how much I wanted, that's a no-brainer. And so I remember my brother-in-law told me about it. When he told me about the products, I was like, sounds great. I mean, my family needs it, and probably our friends and family need it. Do I go to gyms, chiropractors, doctor's offices, you know, Whole Foods? I was all ready for that. And he's like, oh no, it's network marketing. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's what I want to do, right? I'm sure all of you watching this are cheering, or you're looking and you're laughing on the sidelines going, I would never do network marketing. Well, that was me. And thank goodness I said yes, because we've gone on to create millionaires all across the country, and we're going to do that again right here. And so I was open to it. And so when he said network marketing, Corbin came out of the pantry, much like he just was. And he's like, no way, you're not going to do it. All your friends will run from you. You're not getting involved. And I was that submissive wife for a few days. So for 3 days, I listened. But for 3 days, I couldn't get out of my head. And that's what I hope those of you watching today, and you'll share this. And Elda's friends that are watching this that have jumped on board, congratulations. Follow her and what she's doing. For those of you who are on the sidelines watching, I'm telling you, Elda's the real deal. VASAYO's the real deal. Our leadership's the real deal. She's got Rick Gutman up there, and Nancy and Enrique. I mean, amazing leadership. And I'm telling you, it's the real deal. And I'm so thankful I said yes. So when I sat there after 3 days, I couldn't get out of my head. I said, hey, Corbin, you know that company? He's like, yeah, what? I said, well, I think I'm going to do it. He's like, fine. You know, you can do it a couple nights a week, your girls, or one night a week, your girls' night out. Your bunko gossip, whatever you girls do, you'll quit in 3 months and I'll never have to hear about it again. I told you so. So I'm like, I got to make money. And my goal, I'm not joking, was $100 a week. You know, some people think, oh, I got to get in here and I've got to make 5,000 or 10,000, or if I'm not successful, a millionaire in 2 weeks, I failed. No, my goal was 100 a week. I wanted some product. I want my product paid for and some extra income. And that's what happened. I remember the first week was $480. I'm like, wow. If this was consistent every single week, I mean, I wanted new jeans. Like, that's when all the fancy, expensive jeans came in. So I'm like, I could buy a new pair of jeans every week, you know? But all of a sudden, it just started to grow from there. And what happened was I shared it. I was excited. I was confident. I knew that I knew that I knew I had my hands on something good. And everyone I cared about needed to use it. And then how much fun to be able to share this with your friends. I mean, what I found as a stay-at-home mom, I was hanging out with other moms, and our kids were hanging out together, doing Mother's Day out or playing play groups. Why not be productive, right? Why not make money while you're together anyway? And you're all going for that same common goal. I mean, wouldn't it be nice to just take a little pressure off at the house? And if you're a working mom, this is something you can fit in the nooks and crannies of your day. So I look for busy people. We were busy. I said yes. I've never looked back. Corbin, who thought I was crazy, right? Within a year of this business, I was able to retire him from corporate America. We have 3 boys. Obviously, now they're 14, 17, and 21. And he has got to spend the last 10 years raising them, being at their practices, being at their field trips. There are not many dads at the kids' field trips out there. And he's been able to do that. So that's what we want for all of you. And it really is just saying yes and then being bold and confident that you know you have your hands on something great.
Well, I love that. I love that story. And I also love, you know, what also impressed me about your story is that, you know, you were introduced by your brother-in-law, who is a PGA golfer, you know, and so, you know, even Corbin was like, wow, why would someone who's a multimillionaire as a, you know, PGA golfer, professional golfer, be doing this business? And then you know, I've researched your background, by the way. I read a bunch of articles about you last night because I feel, you know, it's important to be prepared in knowing who you're talking to. I've met Holly, but I really wanted to know her story more. And I love the story about, you know, you went home and spent 3 days doing research and learning about the company, learning about the products, learning about the opportunity. The three things, I wrote them down, is product, company, and business opportunity. And then you went to Corbin and you said, Corbin, I'm doing this. And he said, okay, girl, you go, girl, you know, knock yourself out. And he just like you said, he thought you were going to fail. And you just, you know, started making a little bit of money. And the next thing you know, I want you to tell the story about when you, well, two things. I'm going to give you a little prompt.
Okay.
Tell people about how quickly, because of what you did and the way that you approach this as a business, because hobbies cost you money and businesses put money in your pocket, and the way that you approach this industry as a business, how, I'm going to say two things and then I want you to tell the story. How you went on your Pretty Woman shopping spree trip, because that is just, you know, who doesn't want to do that, people? Yeah. And the second thing is the $17,000 check. Yeah. And what you did to your husband and how you, tell my audience that story, please. Those two stories.
Absolutely. One, you know, when I said yes to this, Corbin's like, fine, you can do it. So he didn't want any part of it. So I thought the best agreement was then whatever I make, I get to keep. Like, it's all mine. So I suggest that to all of you out there. Tell your spouse gets on board, it's all yours. Of course, all mine, I thought it'd be $100 a week, you know, and the business started to grow quickly. Here's the deal is you sign up for a product. I love the value pack. I always go all in because I think you've got to try every single product and learn everything you can about the company and what you have your hands on and what you may need, maybe something different than what your friend may need. So it's important to have all the products. I never, ever owed money on an investment. I was always paid. I mean, immediately within the first month, I recouped my entire investment. How did I do that? Because I shared it with everybody I knew. I built a list, I shared it. And here as the business grew, I started in September of 2005. And by January, we loved to go watch Bo play. And we loved Scottsdale. He was playing in Scottsdale, Arizona. I told Corbin, let's go. It was January. It's right after Christmas when we had spent a lot of money, but I was making money. He had no idea what I was making. And I paid for the whole thing on my debit card because you can get paid every Friday on your little check card. And so we went there. He hung out by the pool. I went shopping and did the Pretty Woman shop. And I know all of you ladies watching this know what I'm talking about. And all you guys, I'm going to tell you, your ladies want to do this shop. So I went shopping and it was one of those things that I loaded up. I had bags all up and down my arms and just told the lady, you should have helped me. I said, not that I want to be rude, but I've always wanted to say that. And I came back to the hotel and I threw all my bags on the floor. And Corbin's like, oh my gosh, how much did you spend? I said, it doesn't matter. It was all on my Visa check card. This is all from the money that I've made. Mind you, at the time, he had no idea what I was making. As the business grew, I felt guilty spending all the money on myself and the boys and things around the house. And I said, you know, I really can contribute to the household bills. He's like, great. We have 3 boys that eat a ton of food. I was diamond at the time, making several thousand a week, but he wasn't really sure. And so I wrote a check for $17,000.
Holly, you're freezing up. I'm not sure if you're getting a phone call.
He's like, whoa, what's your login number and password? I need to check this out. How many nights a week do you need? You go, girl. You
Holly, Holly, I'm going to interrupt you for just a minute because it was such an important part of the story and you froze up for me. Okay. So you just repeat it. So you wrote a check for $17,000 and you gave it to your husband and you said, pay off the truck, right? Yep.
So I got a check. My son called. That's why that cut off. But okay. I got a check. I wrote him a check for $17,000. We paid off the truck. He's like, wow, what's your login number and password? You know, how many nights a week do you need? You go, girl. Because here's all of a sudden, when you start making money, then it starts to make sense. I'm telling you, the girls were kind of like, feel good. We want the products to work and everyone to feel good about it. But guys are like, show me the money. Like they want to know the products are good, fine. But they want to know, how do you make money? I happen to be one that likes both. I believe that I want the opportunity great and I want the products amazing. And if I'm confident in both of those and the community that we have, I can share with everybody. And this business is all about your confidence. You know, if you know that you know that you know, look at you, you're a very successful person, you and your husband. If you look at all the people surrounding you, very successful people. It's all walks of life. And that's what I love. This business is for anyone who's just open to an opportunity to do something more.
And I love how, again, you say not to prejudge, because I never thought I would do this business, right? And it took somebody really special to me, my friend Nancy Ohanian. I've been friends with her for 24 years, but it took someone like her who presented this in such a professional manner, you know, that I couldn't stop. I couldn't look away. I was like, I have to at least take the time to pick up the phone and talk to her and listen. I mean, we talk all the time. We're really good friends, but, you know, I really wasn't open to it, because you don't know what you don't know, right?
Right.
And so I encourage all of my friends and all of the people that are watching, and I want to just give a quick shout out. And I know, you know, I'm so grateful for your time, but
yeah,
I literally, Holly, Facebook is just amazing, you guys. And you know what? This is a good segue into my point. I have a friend who's on here right now. His name is Jesper, and we went to school together in Kuwait. And so we are connecting through Facebook. He's Swedish. I don't know if he lives in Sweden right now or Spain. I know I see pictures of him with his family, with his wife and kids, but we literally haven't seen each other in 34 years. Okay. And we're connecting because of Facebook. I mean, it's just amazing. And so this is the power of this business. And I don't know if we're not in Sweden yet, but maybe one day we will be.
That's right.
And I have a lot of people in Sweden that are a part of my network. Anyway, but what my point is that you guys, this is a global business. This is what we have, is a global distribution business. And we are on the ground floor of this opportunity. Literally, I know you hear a lot of people saying that, and those words are thrown around and tossed around so lightly, but we truly are. This company has only been around for 15 months. We've sold over $80 million in our first year. I mean, that number is just staggering. Okay. And I want Holly to share her experience of when she went years ago, when you went to that meeting, when you drove all the way from Tulsa to Dallas, and you looked around and you saw how many people were in that room. Can you share that story? Because that's what's going on right now here in San Antonio, in Texas. And I want people that are watching me, my friends and family in Chicago, in San Francisco, in Florida, in New York, you guys know who you are. And I'm telling you, you know, I'm going to be calling you. If I haven't called you already, I'm going to be calling you, and I want to come to your city, and I want you to be the first person to introduce this business and this company to your network, because I'm going to let Holly share what happened in Dallas. And this is how she became a multi-millionaire, because she went to Dallas, drove from Tulsa, Oklahoma to a meeting, and go ahead, Holly.
Well, thank you. And there's a couple parallels I want people to recognize as I share this story, because when I joined that company, the founder was Dallin Larson, the same founder that we have here. He's taken it 2 other companies to $1 billion, been a part of that. And here is the third and final venture for him. And so when he said he was coming back out because he was in retirement, for Corbin and I, it almost didn't matter what he was going to have, because we knew he'd have the best products out there, but we knew he put together the best culture. But I didn't know that the first time I said yes. So when I said yes, the company was about 15 months old. I mean, people need to or actually it was 18 months old. So people need to understand that's how brand new you are right now in this, and what your opportunity looks like. Now, your opportunity is great at 3 years, 5 years, because it's all timing for you. But I would say if you're watching this, you're crazy if you're not jumping in right now. And that was me. I told Corbin, what if this is the next biggest thing? And I had said no. In 3 years, someone knocks on our door. Hey, have you heard of VASAYO? And it's $1 billion company. And I had said no. That's where we're going here. So people need to realize that. And I'd been in the business just a few weeks. I didn't know what an upline was or a downline was. I've never built this business before. And I signed up at the same time as my brother-in-law, who's the PGA golfer. His buddy from Florida signed him up from high school, who wasn't doing anything, who really didn't even understand it. And so I didn't know what this whole line of sponsorship is. I just knew I signed up. I gave my credit card. I'm getting my friend's credit card. I've got to set them up to succeed, not fail. I've got to learn the information. That's probably the biggest key, is don't wait on someone to come do it for you, which is what you guys are doing in San Antonio. You're not waiting for Nancy or Rick Gatman, like, you're getting it done, and that's what you have to do. So I've been in the business 3 weeks. I was what would be like a star 800. And there was a meeting I saw. I got online, and there was a meeting in Fort Worth, Texas, which from Tulsa is about 5 hours. I told Corbin I was going to go down. He's like, of course, overnights were not part of the deal. But I'm like, hey, I invested. I need to like learn all I can and make sure I'm setting up my team. I got 3 girls to drive down when they're with me. We walked into the room in Dallas. As a matter of fact, as I was going in, a guy stopped me and he said, where are you going? I said, oh, I'm going into this meeting here. And he's like, I wouldn't go in there. Nobody's in there, you know? And I'm like, I drove 5 hours. I'm going to go check it out. And so I go in there and it's a huge meeting space. Probably 100, 150 people could fit in there. There were 15 of us, 15, maybe 18. And I brought 3. I remember sitting on the front row because I think that's like diamond row, like black diamond row, get on the front. I want to learn everything and not be distracted. And so I walked in and I'm like, oh my gosh, 15 people in all of Dallas, Texas. I brought 3. This is going to be huge. And I sat there and I remember this guy that was talking. There's a couple of things that were important. One, he said, I want to help this year 10 people become millionaires. Well, I'm on the front row screaming, pick me, pick me. What I realized it's not a pick me contest. He's like, you have to put the work into it, you know, but if you duplicate and follow the things that I tell you to do, you can get there. I love that. Yes, Fran, pick me. And that's what's me. I was willing to follow and shadow everything they did and duplicate it. And that's so important because I have a marketing degree and this guy hadn't even graduated high school. And there was that point where I sat there and I thought, I mean, I have a marketing degree. I'm kind of more educated, so I can probably go build a bigger business than he can. He's made 150 million. I've made $1,000, right? So at what point do I go, you know, he's made 150 million, I've made 1,000, maybe I should look at him. I had a defining moment sitting there and I thought, why would I try to reinvent the wheel and think I'm all that when this guy's proven? So I literally sat there and everything he said, he had a whitey board and everything he wrote down, I wrote down on sheets of paper. And I took it back home and I created basically what we have is a VASAYO PowerPoint. I created that because everyone wanted me to come into their home. I was so fired up. I wanted to do all these home meetings, but I could only go so far. And I invite everyone, but as it grew, this could grow because this could be duplicated in every house. Literally all I would tell them to do is get up there and read it. Just stand there and read it. And so we duplicated everything he said. It's the VASAYO action plan. Those are for you who are in the business if you'll follow it. But it's duplicating it and doing it as many times as possible. The more people you get in front of, the more one-on-ones, the more home meetings, you know, these lives, all of these different things you're doing to connect with people. The more you get yourself out there, guess what? As VASAYO grows, people in your town are going to want to know who is doing VASAYO in San Antonio, who's doing VASAYO in Chicago. And it's the person who's putting themselves out there most that are going to get the calls from people. So you got to put yourself out there. You got to be bold. You got to be confident. I knew I was going to get no's. I still, as in the business we are today, master brand partners of this company, we get no's. I today was making phone calls to invite people to the meeting next week. And I'm still nervous about it. Like, oh gosh, I've got to make these calls. I've got to invite people. But I know picking up the phone is the way to get them there. So I am still learning every single day. And if you guys will learn, follow the leader, every one of you can be sitting in the position that we're sitting in.
You know what I love, Holly? Thank you for sharing that. That's, you know, everything that you say just resonates with me because you're just truly speaking from a place of, you know, your humility and that humbleness that shows in everything that you do. Like, you know, the story that you shared is very similar to how I was feeling when I started with this business just a few months ago. I was like, you know, I have a sales background. I mean, I have a science degrees, but I have a sales background for 25 years. You know, I can do this, but you know what? No, I've had to humble myself. And I want people to know that are watching this that feel like, well, you have a sales background. That's why you're great. No, that's not the reason. The reason is I've been able to humble myself and learn and listen and learn from people that are multimillionaires that have succeeded in this industry, like Holly and Corbin and like Rick Gutman. And like going to events, like Holly said, like I went to Orlando. I had just signed up a month ago, 1 month before. And Nancy was Nancy's my upline. She's like, Elder, you got to be there. Elder, you got to be there. I don't know. I can't explain it. You got to be there. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like you, I read an article or I heard you say something about, you know, going to the meeting. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be around a bunch of network marketers. That's how I thought when I was going. And then when I went to Orlando, I was like, holy smokes. I was so impressed with the quality of people, with the quality of this leadership of the founder of the company of Dallin and Carrie. And I did exactly like what you did, what you said yesterday. at your, your follow the leader call, when you said you just stood there and you just were listening, you just wanted to listen and learn. And that's what I stood around and I listened. I wasn't talking to her, but I could hear Carrie Larson talking. And I was like, what a beautiful woman, what a beautiful person.
Right.
Everything she was saying, I was just like, she was just so humble and talking about serving others and helping the children in Africa and her passion and her mission for this business. And the reason, the purpose why they came out of retirement.
Yeah.
And then yesterday I learned from Corbin when he was saying, the reason why you guys came out of retirement, when you went to go meet Dallin and Carrie, you were like, they weren't talking about money and making money and how much money we were going to make. They were talking about how many lives you were going to bless.
That's right.
And that's why you and Corbin came out of, your retirement and we're like, we want to jump on. This is an organization. We already know what Dallin's going to do. We already know he's done it twice. And we want to be a part of this organization because we know they're going to take us to the top again. And I'm just so blessed that I'm a part of it. I feel so blessed that I was able to, to be introduced to this opportunity by Nancy. And again, I just want to point, when I was in Orlando, I want to highlight this point. When I was in Orlando and I saw the leadership with this company, I was just literally blown away. It takes a lot to impress me. I mean, really, it takes a lot. I was like, what am I doing here? Taking 3-4 days out of my life, leaving my children to go to Orlando and, hear a bunch of network marketers. And I was just floored with the leadership and I learned something from every single person that talked, from you, from Corbin, from Rick Gutman, from Jolene, from Ricky and Francoise, from every single person that got up there, from, Rob, from Mark Ewell, every person, I learned something and I'm able to use that. And when I'm feeling down and when I'm feeling discouraged, I'm able to use that to pick me back up and be like, remember their success, remember their story, remember their frustrations and their fear, and they push through it. And that's what I'm doing. And what I want to highlight is the fact that, just like you said, don't wait for someone else to help you. Get up and do it yourself. Right. What I want to highlight is, but you know what? How many people are involved in companies? And I'm speaking now to people that are in my network that are watching or that will watch later on. How many people are with companies where the master brand partner comes to your house? I mean, Corbin Roush was at my house, like literally January 17th. Rick Gutman was at my house. These are, leaders within this company come to my home to honor me, to honor my network, and to share, share this opportunity in this business. I mean, this is like having Michael Jackson come to your house, like having a rock star. I mean, literally, that's what it was. And when you guys have that opportunity, you need to take advantage of it. And if I have another meeting and these people are coming to my house, you guys have to come and listen. I mean, literally, it's worth your time. You're not doing me a favor. It's worth your time to come out and listen for an hour. And I want to share one more thing about Holly. She has thousands of people in her downline, thousands. This entire company is in her downline. I texted her yesterday and said, Holly, can I have a meeting with you? Within less than an hour, she responded, yes, I have between 12 to 3. I mean, that is just unbelievable to me that I have the access to the leadership and the support system that we have here. Because don't you believe, Holly, that the products can be amazing? There are a lot of really good companies out there. But when you have the type of leadership that we have, we are just destined to succeed.
That's right.
That's how I feel.
And Elda, leadership is critically important to this company. And so everybody out there, you have somebody that you can plug into. But the other thing I want to say is why you're getting response like you are, Elda, is because you're all in. I'll never forget when you were in Orlando and Corbin was going to Texas and he was looking for one other place to go. And you're like, come to my house. I will pack it out. I will pick up we knew beyond a shadow of a doubt, you were going to pour everything you could into packing out that room. And you did exactly that. The reason I jumped on with you as quick as I did to do this Facebook Live is because you are signed up for every event. You are all in. Who do I want to help? Those who are all in. Why? Because I know that's what makes success. I'm not playing games. I don't have time to play games. Neither do you. And the fact that you are all in, and I knew that from the first day I met you down in Orlando. I see it today, and I can't wait to watch you grow in this company. And what I love is your heart of humbleness, because it's so true. Like, we almost all have to throw away the little things that we've learned and start fresh, because this is so new for us, right? It's new for every one of us. The relationships you're building, it's so different than traditional business. Pharmaceutical sales, I think pharmaceutical salespeople do good in the sense of, you know what to say and quick. Like, you don't drag it on and go on and on forever and talk someone in and out. It's really easy to talk someone in and out of this business. But if you just get the points out, you listen. And that's the other thing you just said, was you listen. That's the one thing I did immediately. And it's, no one really taught it to me. It was innate, which I think that obviously is for you too. I just listened to every leader. I mean, if I could be beside one of the top leaders in the company, I was sitting in a chair next to him and I didn't say anything, but I'd be like this, you know. We go on all these awards trips and I'd be presidential, and there'd be royals and blacks and it didn't matter. The ones that I saw were doing the right activity. I mean, they would be talking in the pool and here's Holly popping up right next to him. They're like, do you need anything? Nope, I'm just listening, you know. And just because you learn so much from that. And the only place to get that is to get around the fire as often as possible. So San Antonio, if you're watching Elder, you better get around her fire. If you're in her network and you haven't said yes yet, this girl's going places. If you're watching this and you're in someone else's team, like, call them, get in. You know, there's no risk. That's what kills me. It's people like, I got to think about it and pray about it. There's no risk. Like, worst case, you get healthier. Best case, you get healthier and you make money.
Exactly. And Holly, I want everyone in my network to know, one more thing I'm going to ask you, Holly. I want you to talk about how you did this business when your children, were they 3, 6, and 9 when you started in 2005? So for all those people out there that are like, I'm too busy. Yeah. I'm too busy. You know what? I want busy people. Yeah. If you're not busy, I don't want you in my organization because you obviously don't know how to get things done. Yeah. I want successful business people, successful people that are in corporate America, all my friends at USAA that are working. The first person that gets into USAA in my network, you're going to explode in this business. The first person that's working for Valero that's watching right now, I'm telling you guys, I mean, this is it. This is the real deal. Yeah. And the people that are entrepreneurs, that are business owners, I mean, I have people on here like you, Nancy, like you, Holly. I have a mom on here who's a stay-at-home mom. Her husband's very, very successful, just like you were a stay-at-home mom. Corbin was very successful in his career, but she wants to retire her husband. And let me tell you something, that girl is going to do it. Awesome. She's in, yeah. And I want you to talk about how your children were young, but how you and Corbin had big dreams and you sat down and you made goals with your kids. So can we just end on that one note? Because to me, I'm making sacrifices right now to leave my children, my 14-year-old and my 17-year-old. And they know mommy's working every night. You know, mom is busy building her business. That's the only reason I'm gone. Yeah. You know, I'm not out drinking or whatever. It's like, I'm working. And so I want the people to listen to how you and your husband took your small children and built a business around having meetings literally every single night in your house.
Right. And, you know, they were 3, 6, and 9 when I started. And so I really found the nooks and crannies of the day. So when Corbin's at work during the day and the kids were taking a nap, that's when I might make calls. Or I get together with other friends and the kids would get together and play and we would make our plans and make our calls together. You know, at night, instead of watching TV, I turn the TV off and that's when I might make my phone calls. You know, when the kids are younger, they go to bed early. And so I found if they went to bed at 8, 8:30, where did I used to spend that time? In front of the TV. I'd watch every American Idol, The Voice, The Bachelor, whatever used to be on back then. And I learned immediately, like, turn the TV off. Take those hours and do something productive for your business. And that's what I did. And Corbin and I sat down. I think anyone watching this, it's really important you sit down with your spouse and then with your kids and come up with your goals. Like, how much time commitment can I give every day to VASAYO? How much can I give every week to VASAYO? How many nights can I give? And we kind of brought it down to that, to where I could open up my calendar and not feel guilty about doing it. And then I sat down with my kids. You know, I love this because Charlie and Debbie Calb were really our mentors. So this is like 4 to 6 lines of sponsorship up from me in our previous company. And they were really great about, Holly, are your kids, how are they doing? They're used to you home and now you're going out every night of the week. And I'm like, it's been really hard. And they said, sit down with them, set goals with them. You know, we kind of sat down and we did the rank chart. And it's like, when I hit silver, we'll do this. So maybe it's go to the kids' favorite restaurant. Maybe it's go to one of the big play places that are in town. Maybe it's spend the night at a hotel and swim at the pool. And so, or maybe it's new tennis shoes. You have boys. For Easter, they ask for tennis shoes, like for everything.
Right? Me too. Me too.
So I just ordered, I'm like, those shoes cost more than candy, but we're not rotting your teeth out, right? And so we set goals, and then there's trips. You know, here you could go on the Gold Cruise and take your family. That's one thing about Dallin is he's a family man. God first, family second, VASAYO third. And so, you can build this business around our trips. We used to have to budget and plan for a vacation for the family. We always like to go 1 week a year somewhere, and it would take months to prepare and plan and save. With this, the company's willing to give it to you for free. And so we'd sit down with our kids. If mom runs this hard, we can go on the Gold Cruise together. If mom runs this hard, we can go to Hawaii. And pretty soon, it wasn't just about us going. It was, oh, hey, mom, it's so-and-so. Did they qualify to get to go? Because I want my friends to get to go. And I mean, kids would come spend the night, and they're like, would you please get my parents to do this? Everyone who's doing is having so much fun, and my mom's not in. And our kids, it went from that mindset of them grabbing your legs and crying when you walked out the door to cheering you on. Like literally the meeting would be over. My phone would ring. Mom, how many people did you have? Did you have guests there? How many people showed up? Did so-and-so hit silver yet? Did she get to gold yet? And it was so cool because they wanted it for us. You have to make your kids feel a part of it. So our kids knew from the beginning they're part of this business. Now they're old enough that we're like, you go talk to people, and that bonus that we get, you know, or that first order bonus or whatever that we get, you get that. And so we start giving the kids some incentive to share this. I mean, my kids would take the energy product to school and they give them to their friends. And then the next day they were like, hey, could I have another one? And they're like, no, you can tell your mom to call my mom. You know, I had a teacher at school. Here I am at a national convention, and we had an energy product at the time. And I get an email. The teacher didn't even know I was out of town. And I get an email from her, and she's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for sending that product with Ethan to school. He's in kindergarten at the time. Like kindergartners sometimes can share better than we can, right? And I'm like, what did he bring you? And she goes, some energy product. I'm like, well, I'm in Florida. I didn't set him up to that. He did it all on his own. So if you get your kids involved, then it's like their business too. You're teaching them to be entrepreneurial. And one more thing I want to say, Elda, about kids is my kids are now 14, 17, and 21. I had a conversation with my 21-year-old last night that I'm just in awe of. I'm like, how did you get to be such an amazing kid? Like so godly, just always there to help others, so kind. And I know how. I brought him up in this industry. I raised our kids around other like-minded people who are positive. They hear us on the phone, building other people up, encouraging them, saying you can do it. And guess what your kids do? They go back out into the world and do that with their friends. You know, when your kids come home and they hear you complaining and yelling at each other and stress from your day at work, and mom and dad don't even speak, they're going in different directions, that affects the kids. But when mom and dad are sitting down for a common goal, they're building goals together, plans together, dreams together with their kids, watch what happens. Your kids will be changed forever. Like I love the path that I've set my kids on.
Absolutely. And I see my children supporting me and helping me with this business. And I just feel so blessed that they've jumped on board. And, you know, my daughter's only 17. I can't wait till she's 18. I'm going to sign her up and have her share it with all her friends that are athletes and gymnasts. But it has been an amazing journey. And I just feel so blessed, Holly, to be a part of your team, to be a part of this organization with you. And thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do this for me. I want to remind people that are in my network, actually, and I haven't announced it, but I'm going to have a home meeting. I'm actually taking some time off, so, you know, work-family balance, but I'm going to take my son skiing next week to Colorado, to Vail. It's his spring break, but I just want you to know, I mean, I'm looking at it as you know, it's never just vacation. I'm literally going to be, before I leave Colorado, mark my words, I'm going to have some new brand partners in Colorado, because I'm going to be working, I'm taking samples with me, and I'm going to be working my business, you know, after I finish skiing. But I want you guys to know, I'm going to have a meeting at my house on Wednesday, the 11th. So come on over and we'll, you know, we'll just have a glass of wine and talk and let me share with you exactly what it is that we're doing, because you just can't believe what a beautiful group of people I'm involved with. And if you want to make extra money, if you want to do this part-time, you know, 80 to 90% of the people that start this business start it. And just like you said, and Corbin said, you fit it into the nooks and crannies of your life because you have dreams and you have big dreams. And I know that I'm dreaming more than I ever have in my whole life. And I'm just so excited. So thank you so much, Holly. I appreciate you and Corbin, and have a wonderful day.
Elder, we love you. And I promise you, we'll be out. I'll be to San Antonio very soon. So we'll get
Yes.
that date on the calendar. I know that you've got that. I think Rick's going to be coming there. We've got the meeting in Tulsa, and then we're going to get you scheduled down there in San Antonio. You're doing everything right. I'm super proud of you. Cannot wait to watch your story and hear your story across stage one day.
Thank you, Holly.
Thanks, Elda. Bye, everyone.
Bye.